Hey guys, it's Kennedy, and for today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you some closet organization tips and tricks. Maybe you guys just need to tidy up your closets a little bit or do a total makeover with yours. That's what I have to do with mine, so I found some interesting kind of ideas and ways to do that while I was doing some research online, and I figured I would share them with you guys. So without further ado, let's get started. So the first tip I have for getting your closet completely organized is going to be to take everything out. And when I say everything, I really mean everything. This can be very daunting depending on the size of your closet. I personally have a lot of clothes and the idea of going through all of them is very overwhelming, but in the end, I think it is definitely going to be worth it because I'm gonna get rid of the old clothes, like if there's anything that have damaged or anything, like I'm gonna get rid of all of that and it just won't be like a weight on my shoulders anymore, just sitting there taking up space. So yeah, first step is definitely taking out everything, and that is including like drawers and everything like that. If you have dressers and things, get those emptied and go through everything. So when going through your clothes, I would recommend having different piles or bins to help keep things organized at first. So you can have a pile of the things that you're going to keep, what you're going to donate, the things that you are going to sell if you choose to sell anything, and then things that you are going to toss. And I can guarantee that's gonna help initially just to kind of wean through anything that you just don't need in your closet anymore. I have a few questions that may help you if you feel like you're stumped on an item, like if you're looking at a shirt and you don't know whether you want to keep it or get rid of it. These should help. As well though, I would say like trust your gut, go off your first instinct of something. So if you pick up a shirt, for example, and you're kind of just like, ugh, like I think that's a sign that, you know, you're not gonna wear it, you might want to get rid of it, donate it, something like that. But some of the questions that you can ask yourself while going along are, does it still fit? Of course, if it doesn't fit, why are you keeping it? You should basically just have your closet filled with clothes that fit you now. It's nice to have something like, say you have something that's maybe a size or two too small, and that's kind of your motivation to get fit, get back to that old shape or something like that. That's great. But you don't need to fill your closet with clothes that are too big, too small. Like, just dress your body for the body that you have right now. And I find that that will help get rid of a good amount of clothes, stuff that's just too big, too small, that you don't need. It just doesn't fit you right anymore and you don't like the way it fits because your opinions change. Like, you may have loved long dresses 2 years ago and now you can't stand them. So just stuff like that. So if it still fits. Have I worn it in the last year? That's a big one too. If you can't remember the last time that you wore something, maybe you have to think a little further, like, am I gonna wear it again in the future? Is it worth keeping in my closet, taking up space? I don't know. Would I wear it again? Again, yeah, you have to think if you're gonna wear it in the future at all, if you could even picture yourself wearing this, or if it's like a t-shirt, a skirt, like could you picture outfits, like a ton of outfits that you could get out of that piece of clothing, just stuff like that. If I saw it in a store now, would I buy it? I think that's like my favorite question out of all of these, because if you wouldn't spend money on it now, you don't need it. Do I love how it looks on me? Again, if it doesn't fit, if it just is unflattering or like you're not comfortable in it, you don't need it. And is it damaged in any way, shape, or form? Broken zippers, missing buttons, torn? Is there bleach stains? Like anything like that, or stains that you just can't get rid of. Like you spill something on your shirt, story of my life. Like just get rid of it. You don't need that. A couple other things to consider if maybe you're stuck between donating something or trying to sell it. If something doesn't fit you, if it's not your style anymore, if it's lightly worn and possibly even expensive, if it costed you a little bit of money and you want to try and get some of that back, I would recommend trying to sell it. There are different ways you can do that. You can take it into a place like Plato's Closet where they will go through all the clothes that you bring in and they can choose to buy anything off of you, but that can be hit or miss depending on what you're trying to sell. And then I know a lot of people make Instagram accounts and just post pictures of the clothes that they're trying to sell, and those seem to be like a pretty good option as well. There are others out there, but those are the two that I'm thinking of right now. And then if you have anything maybe that you can't sell, you just know maybe it's kind of I don't know, I don't want to say ugly, but I know I have ugly clothes that I would never be able to sell. It was from my weird teenage time. We don't need to talk about that. So anything you can't sell, make sure it is not damaged at all and it isn't underwear. I just feel like that should be a no-brainer, but just stating that. Then donate it anywhere like Goodwill, Salvation Army, anywhere will happily accept your donations. And my main point is make sure it's not damaged. Go through your stuff, like stains, rips, anything. If you don't want that, they don't want that, because they're gonna go through everything, find it, and then toss it themselves. So if you have anything like that, any broken zippers, missing buttons, like things that are just damaged or gross, like they're just not nice anymore, or if it's underwear, toss it, just get rid of it. Like you don't need to keep them and you basically have no other choice, unless there was something. For example, if you had a really pretty patterned skirt, but maybe you got an awful stain on it, like in one little spot, but you feel like you could use the material for something else, that's an option. Maybe if you're crafty, you could repurpose something. Those are things to also think about, but myself personally, like if I have a shirt that's like stained or ripped or anything, I mean, unless you need to keep it around for like painting or doing any like work around the house, really get rid of it. And if you guys are anything like me and maybe you struggle to get rid of clothing because it holds some type of sentimental value, like maybe it doesn't fit you or you know you're not gonna wear it, but you just may have like a really great memory from wearing that clothing and you can't part with it. To some people, this just sounds crazy. It's like, just get rid of the clothing if you're not gonna wear it. But to me, I'm like, even though these jeans are so crazy, like I found some crazy colored jeans in my closet, like literally neon orange, bright purple, and teal. I don't know what I was thinking at the time, but anyways, I found those, and even though I'm not gonna wear them, I can't part with them because I got those when I went on a family vacation to Hawaii like 7 years ago. So things like that that are taking up space that you just don't need, and I don't think I've worn them more than twice each pair of jeans, so it's just crazy. Something like that, like even thinking about getting rid of them just kind of hurts me. So I found this tip online and maybe it'll help you guys out too, because I'm definitely going to be trying this out. I'm just going to read it off my phone. But if you have certain items that you know you never wear but you can't quite part with, put them in a trash bag in the back of your closet. It doesn't have to be the back of your closet, anywhere that you might have space, and wait a few months. And after those few months, get rid of the clothes that you've forgotten about. If you remember an item during that period of time and you get it out of the bags, then that's a sign that you should keep it. Like if you find yourself needing to wear something from those bags or bins or whatever, maybe you can hang on to that. But for the most part, just give yourself some time. Don't think about the clothes. And if you find yourself not needing them at all, then I think it'd be time to just let go of them. I think that that tip especially is gonna help me, because the idea of putting all these unwanted clothes into a bag and just immediately donating them, like honestly, is like stressing me out right now, because I hold so much value, sentimental value, in my clothes. So this I am definitely gonna try, and I'm hoping it works, because then that means that I will have so much more space in my closet and I won't have to look at the hideous things that I can't bear to part with, you know? So yeah, that's an option if you guys maybe feel the same way. You can try something to that extent, but I think that it should work out really great. So once you have all of the clothes that you know you want to keep, it is time to organize the closet. Now this will vary depending on the size of your closet and all the amount of clothes and things that you have. But some simple tips to keep it organized is to organize by item of clothing. So t-shirts, long sleeves, jackets, things like that. And then within those categories of clothes, you can color order. I will leave a link in the description bar below to a picture I found on Pinterest. Somehow I'll do that. And it's basically an idea for a color order. Like it's like the rainbow order, but you put white at the beginning and then at the end there's like brown, gray, and black. So that's an option. But of course, anything that makes sense to you. Maybe if you just want to completely color order your closet, oh my goodness, that would look so nice, but it just might be harder to find if you're looking for a t-shirt and you don't care about the color. That might make it a little more difficult, again, depending on the actual clothes that you have, but I am personally going to organize everything by like style of clothing or article of clothing, I guess, and then within that, color ordering it so it makes it super easy to find exactly what I'm looking for. If you have the space to hang a bunch of clothes, hang as much as you can or as much as you want to, because if you can see it, you are much more likely to wear it as opposed to having it tucked away in some drawer or on the back of a shelf or something like that. So yeah, hanging things up will not only keep your clothes relatively in a nicer shape, just being hung up, but you can see it, go through it easier. It just makes things a lot simpler. I think this is my #1 tip even before this whole video idea. This is just my favorite thing in the whole wide world, and it's so easy. For hangers, using those slim velvet ones is just fantastic. Not only can you buy them in gigantic packs for relatively cheap, like my mom found some, I think last week, for like $18 for 50 of those hangers from Costco. They sell those things everywhere and they are so handy. They take up much less space than using those giant wooden ones, and because they're velvet, they don't really allow your clothes to slip off the hanger. They're just the most fantastic invention, in my opinion. Clearly I'm a little biased, but if you don't have those type of hangers and you just have trouble with clothes slipping off, yeah, definitely pick some of those up. If you have any heavy sweaters, whether they're knit or just any type of sweater, don't hang them. If you can, put it in a drawer, put it on a shelf, or just find some other way to organize it, because if you hang them, after a while, they will lose their shape. I do have some sweaters like that I'm going to have to put away because you can tell that over time, from just being on the hanger, they lose their shape, they don't look as nice. So to keep your items nicer for longer, don't hang them. I know that sounds a little contradictory because I just said hang everything, but there's certain items you have to think about. Maybe don't hang those knit sweaters because then they're just gonna get all baggy and lose their shape. Unless that's what you want, then there you go. If you have drawers that maybe are a catastrophe, that are holding anything like bras, underwear, bathing suits, I would recommend getting dividers, and they don't have to be expensive. You can probably find them at the dollar store or look online for them, but any type of divider system will just allow you to display the items in a way to keep them organized, and it'll let you cycle through them better. Because if you just have like a pile of all of your bras, like you're not gonna see all the ones on the bottom, maybe, unless you actually take the time to go through and cycle through all of it. So if you have a system where you can like see everything, it just makes it look a lot nicer, but also just more practical. I have 2 more methods that I personally find a little bit aggressive, but also could be very helpful if you need some type of strict direction. The first one is having a set number of hangers in your closet, just allowing you to have so many things and kind of getting rid of the old things if you are buying new clothes. That one is very strict, so just having like, for example, 40 hangers in your closet, and you just don't want to allow yourself to have more, so it won't let your closet overflow and get out of control. That is very similar to the other one I have, which is the 1 in, 1 out method. So just as the name states, you buy a new article of clothing, you get rid of something else, which again is a good way of thinking, so you don't allow yourself to have an overwhelming closet, but depending what you're buying, it could seem very strict. So those are some other things that you could do to help keep your closet under control and save you from having to do a total makeover like me. Those are just some other ideas. But that is it for my video today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully some of these tips and tricks can help you out with your closet organization endeavors. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye! Ed the hyena, and I have never related more to a Tsum Tsum than I do right now. Like, I feel like this is my spirit Tsum Tsum. That's a new thing. Yep, he's my spirit Tsum Tsum. So, a reflection from a bus, depending.